Hello, my name is Mitun, and today we're going to go over some advanced tips in Honkai Star Rail that will elevate your gameplay and take you to the next level. Approaching Trailblaze level 40, the game feels like it truly begins, and after unlocking Equilibrium 3, the enemies start to feel more scaled. More and more people are getting to the point where they have nothing to do besides wait for daily reset to farm XP and bide their time till they can increase their level cap on light cones and characters by setting the Equilibrium level. I've just hit level 42, and I wanted to share some of the tips and tricks I've learned at this current point in the game. Starting out with some of the basic questions about farming or saving fuel, I want everyone to know that at Trailblaze 40, you do get access to a guaranteed gold relic drop and the ability to craft gold relics, but do keep in mind that you can't craft the main stat unless you have a special item that everyone will get for free at Battle Pass level 40, including the free-to-play players, and I have no clue on how to get more at the moment, but I hope it's easy to procure in the future. This new mechanic of synthesizing artifacts is fairly simple. All you need to do is go into your inventory and salvage at least 10 pieces of gold gear from any of the relic sets, including the orbs and link ropes, and you can craft any piece from any set, including the orb and link ropes as well. Now, you can't craft the main stat, again, not to get anyone confused, but what that means is you'll get a random chance to get any main stat for that artifact. For instance, if you craft a body, you'll have a chance to get crit rate, crit damage, effect hit rate, attack defense, or HP. Whereas if you crafted a pair of gloves, you will get guaranteed flat attack because there's no other main stat on those, and random substats. This artifact system seems to be a lot better, but keep in mind we are only level 40 at the moment, farming difficulty 2 or 3 domains. I think later on to the future, our 40 Trailblaze fuel will probably net us 2 gold artifacts instead of 1, and I do also think that there is a way to possibly add a substat or maybe remove or re-roll a substat as well, but that's all speculation, and these types of things do exist in other games. I don't know if Star Rail will also have this feature later on to the game, but that would be pretty fun and helpful. I'll keep my fingers crossed for that one. We already have an improved artifact system from Genshin, so we'll take what we can get, right? Now, moving on. The second thing I hear often is people don't know what to commit resources on for relics and light cones, and simply put, there's a lot of free-to-play options for light cones. I heard the shop at the Mirror Memories, as well as many free-to-play 3-star light cones that have great passives, such as Chorus, Cornucopia, Arrows, you name it, there's quite a bit. Here's a list of light cones that should be superimposed to 5 and sitting in your inventory if they're not already being used. The rule of thumb for light cones is that a 3-star max superimposed light cone is actually not that bad and gets the job done, and it should only be swapped out for a 5-star or quality 4-star gacha light cone. This all depends on what you obtained from the summons, and if you didn't warp anything great, the 3-star light cones are just fine to invest into for now so that you can play the game and actually progress. Understanding that leveling the light cones as well as traces on core members of your team is a very basic concept of the game and is necessary to propel you forward to clear harder and harder enemies. But remember to commit resources into your carries first before your supports. At Trailblaze 40, you get an additional level on your traces as well, so that means your skill ultimate and your talent will require 2 levels rather than 1 to fully max out the character, as well as unlocking another bonus ability for all characters that have reached this ascension. This means that if you're pre-farming before level 40, let's say you're level 31 to 39, and you're wanting to get prepared for level 40, I highly recommend you farm the Calyx of Golden or Calyx of Crimson for those extra additional materials towards your light cone or trace materials. If you haven't already realized, the 3-star light cones are pretty easy to level, and then the 4-star light cones are slightly harder to level, whereas the 5-star light cones are the hardest to level, and this also applies to the 4-star characters themselves. The 4-star characters have less trace material required for their skill ups, and for the 5-star characters, they will need just a tad bit more on their traces as well. Before Trailblaze 40, I pre-farmed roughly around 45 tier 2 material for my Serval, and I farmed roughly around 50 to 55 tier 2 material for my 5-star Sealay, and that was about it for my pre-farming, making sure to prioritize my DPS rather than my supports. Moving on to proper builds for Trailblaze 40, I believe there's only 2 ways to build a character, and that is as a DPS or as a support. DPS carries will generally run crit rate or attack bodies. Now later on into the game, if you did have the substats to back it up, crit damage body would probably be your best bet with crit rate subs, probably with attack subs on every single piece, but I mean that is far into the game and I wouldn't worry about that. If you are in the top 0.001% of Honkai Star Rail and have already started to go for the crit damage body and are planning to go for the crit rate and attack with possibly speed on every single artifact, please do let me know how much money you spent on the game over at twitch.tv/metune, and hook your boy up if you don't mind, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, DPS carries will generally run crit rate or attack body, attack or speed boots, elements on their sphere or their planet, whatever you want to call it, and then attack or a break effect on the rope. I'm fairly certain the break effect doesn't actually affect how much you damage the toughness bar, but rather the effect that happens after it's broken, hence the name break effect. So if you were to destroy an enemy's toughness bar with freeze, I guess the damage from that will be increased if you have a higher break effect. Same thing with the electro. I'm pretty sure that having a high break effect with an electro unit will just cause them to take more shock damage right after their toughness bar is broken. Moving on to the second way to build a character, and that is as a support. They're going to be using less resources, so don't expect very much from them besides their buff or their ability to just carry your team, maybe to funnel it all into a hyper carry. Now the supports are going to be built with a main stat body, a main stat shoe or boot, possibly with speed if you need to speed tune your team so that they move first, second, or third, or fourth in the rotation, whatever you're trying to do. And then the main stat sphere as well as a energy recharge rope. Now I have not seen an energy recharge rope. I don't even know what it looks like. I don't know, like surely the text is probably like long as heck, and it probably doesn't even fit on like the one line. It probably like double line it. I don't know what it looks like, because apparently it's really rare. Maybe I'm just unlucky, maybe you guys have one, but I don't have one yet. I don't know how that's possible. I've been grinding. I like, what? I don't get it. But anyways, that rope is probably going to be the hardest thing to get. I'm just saying that. Maybe I'm just really unlucky. Maybe you guys have like a lot of them, like 5 or 6 of them lined up. I don't even have a 3-star version of that rope. But yeah, characters that can utilize that rope really well are going to be characters who have a utility ultimate. People like Bronya, Japard, Bailu, Natasha, Asta, might be missing one, Tingyun, will really benefit from a rope like that. And because we don't really mind if our supports run off of like offsets or rainbow pieces, like just if you get an energy recharge rope, just slap it on. It doesn't really matter about the set. Just put an energy recharge rope on. I'm sure it will make a very, very, very large difference, especially early on into late game. That sounds kind of weird. Early into late game. When it comes to the main stats for our supports, as we start our late game journey, I highly recommend that main stat is not necessarily a damaging substat, but possibly either HP or defense. Characters like Natasha, characters like Bailu, they're obviously going to want HP and as much of it as possible to heal, probably with an outgoing healing bonus chest piece, right? But characters like Japard, characters like Fire MC, they're going to want defense as much as possible. Obviously, they don't have an outgoing shield bonus chest piece, or an outgoing healing bonus would be useless. So they would run defense there as well, just defense everywhere that they can. Maybe even a fire damage sphere for the Fire MC. That's what I run. I think that's pretty cool and neat. But yeah, generally you're going to want to run defense on every single piece so that you can get more value out of their shields. For characters such as Bronya or any other support that doesn't necessarily have a main stat that they scale off of, like HP or defense or attack, I recommend running a defensive substat on these guys. So with Bronya, you're going to want to run probably like HP shoes, maybe defense shoes if you don't want to run speed. And I would stay clear of the attack just so you can make sure your supports stay alive and healthy. But also with Bronya, you're going to want to run a crit damage chest piece, because that's what her buff scales off of. So there might be some case-by-case scenarios depending on the character of what you will need. Japard could also run an effect hit rate body so that he can freeze. But yo, I got that motherfucker C1, AE1, whatever you want to call it. This guy does not freeze. Everything has high resistance, and I feel like it's not helping. So maybe if I had an effect hit rate body, I would be able to freeze enemies more efficiently. But as it stands right now, he does not do a very good job at that. So I'm guessing an effect hit rate body could help a lot with that. But yeah, those are just my thoughts about Japard. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about Japard. I don't like that guy. I'll be real. I don't like Japard. And I'll tell you why, actually. Much like Genshin, the Spiral Abyss, in this case Forgotten Hall, is like the true end game. And we already know, if you played Genshin before, if you bring a team of healers, you're just not going to clear content, right? Japard feels like a pretty good support, but like he can't really be a solo support. He needs another support, I feel. Like he needs that additional like healing or something. And I feel like Japard just takes up a spot right there, and it doesn't really help. So I highly recommend, if you have Natasha or Bailu, you build them up And if you have the Fire MC, which everyone does have the Fire MC, I recommend you get all the Eidolons for them, so C6 Eidolon, and then build them up as well. And then I feel Japar just kind of falls off, but hey, you know, let me know if you can make that work. Anyways, moving on. The Forgotten Hall is the true endgame of Star Rail, and it requires about two teams of 4 to get through, right? But I honestly recommend getting more characters than just 8. Characters might be hard to build up, but I mean, from the following tips, hopefully you've been funneling your resources into maybe like 2 or 3 DPS characters and lazily building your supports to survive and spam the skills and bursts. That will be the play to clearing the content as early as possible. Yeah, if you're not already level 40 and you're watching this video, I really do hope that you are funneling those resources into your 1 to 3 DPS that you want to use for the Forgotten Hall. A lot of people overlook the toughness bar of the enemies and try to actually destroy their foes without weakness breaking enemies, but that requires a lot of damage and a lot of effort. So that's probably not going to be the case with a lot of you guys. So I highly recommend you branch out and build characters of different element types when possible. It would help a lot in terms of clearing content. Much like in Genshin, when you would use a character to destroy a shield, they might not be the strongest character in your team, but they're just there to be the correct element, just to help with the ease of the run. Now, I got a lot more information about light cones, I got a lot more information about how energy works in this game, but I don't think I could squeeze it all into one video without it being like an hour or like 30 minutes long, so I might chop it up. Let me know what you guys want, let me know what you guys think, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy and happy star railing. Trailblazing? I don't know, you know what I mean. See you later. Peace!